You good with that? Yeah, whatever's fine.
You don't ask for much. You go with the flow. And you're not the type to make things complicated. You've probably even been told that about yourself as a compliment. You're so low maintenance. You're so easy to be around. And some part of you has held on to that, built an identity around it. But today I want to sit with something you might not have looked at yet, because being easy has a cost, and you've been paying it for a long time. Welcome to the Truth Be Told Project. Here's what the day-to-day looks like for someone running this pattern. Plans get made without your input, and you adjust. Someone cancels at the last minute, and you say, no worries. You notice you're always the one who reaches out, always the one who accommodates, always the one who says, I'm fine with whatever. And you generally believe you don't mind, except sometimes at the end of a day or late at night when it's quiet, there's this low hum underneath everything. A feeling that's hard to name. Not quite resentment, not quite loneliness, but something closer to invisible. You're in the room, people like you, you're easy, and somehow you still don't feel fully seen. That's the site report. Here's what's actually happening. Somewhere along the way, probably earlier than you can remember, you learned that having needs was risky. Maybe your needs were met with irritation. Maybe you watched someone else's needs create conflict, and you decided you'd never do that. Maybe you needed something and it didn't come. And the safest response was to stop needing it out loud. So you got quiet. You got quiet, you got agreeable, you got easy, and it worked in a sense that it reduced friction. People didn't pull away. There was no rejection, no conflict, no disappointment of asking and not receiving. But here's the diagnosis. You didn't stop having needs. You just stopped admitting them. They went underground, and now they show up as that low hum, as exhaustion you can't explain, as resentment that surprises you, as relationships where you feel like you're giving more than you're getting, even though you never actually asked for anything. The default is this: silence is safety. If I don't get asked for much, I can't be rejected. If I don't assert a preference, no one can tell me no. If I just go alone, I stay connected, and connection is worth the cost. That's the logic underneath it. It's not irrational. It made sense at some point. But the problem with silence as a long-term strategy is that it trains the people around you to not consider you. Not out of cruelty, but out of conditioning. You've demonstrated that you don't have needs, so they've stopped asking. They stopped offering. They stopped checking. And now you're surrounded by people who like you, but they don't really know you because you never let them. Here's the disruption. Being easy isn't the same as being loved. Approval and intimacy are not the same thing. You can be very well liked and very alone at the same time. And that's exactly the trap of this pattern. It keeps you connected enough that you don't feel the need to change it. The other piece of this is every suppressed preference is a small act of self-abandonment. And those add up over years. They accumulate into a relationship with yourself and with others, where your inner world is basically invisible, even to you. You've gotten so good at not needing things that you may have lost track of what you actually want. And that's a real loss. Not a dramatic one, a quiet, accumulated one. So, how do you move out of this? Step 1, start with inventory, not change. Before you do anything differently, just start noticing. When you say, I'm fine with whatever, ask yourself, is that true? When you adjust your plans without saying anything, how does that actually feel? You're not trying to become demanding overnight. You're just starting to hear yourself again. Step 2, practice small asks. Start with low stakes situations. Where do you want to eat? Say it. What time works better for you? Say that too. The goal isn't to be difficult. It's to let yourself take up a little more space in the room. Step 3, notice the discomfort. When you assert a preference and the other person has a reaction, even a mild one, your system is going to want to back down immediately. Notice that impulse. You don't have to white knuckle through it, just observe it. The discomfort of being known is something you can build tolerance for over time. Step 4, give yourself a chance to show up. Right now, you're making decisions for people, assuming they won't care, won't accommodate, won't meet you. You might be right, but you might also be wrong. And the only way to find out is to let them know what you actually need. Some people won't show up. That's information too. Here's your commission. This week, I want you to name one thing you've been pretending not to need. Be honest, and then, if you're ready, tell one safe person, not as a demand, just as truth. Hey, I realized I actually needed blank, and I didn't say it. That's it. That's the whole assignment. Being easy has cost you enough, don't you think? It's time to start collecting. Until next time, remember, stop drifting and start designing. I'll see you next time. Peace.